welcome to the League of Melanated Gentlemen podcast. I'm Spenser, one of your hosts, and it is a glorious day today. And on this glorious day, I'm joined by the other members of the League of Melanated Gentlemen who have come here today to bring you another official League of Melanated Gentlemen ranking.
Yes, sir. This is Brandon.
And as always, I'm Jordan.
Now, before we get into the title of this episode, which you may notice will be a part 1 of 2, likely, it may be 3 parts. We're going to see how far we get today. So I guarantee nothing. But this will be the first part, regardless. A couple of things we need to discuss. Firstly, we are on socials. Jordan, what socials are we on?
Of course, we are on socials. We are on Facebook at the League of Melanated Gentlemen podcast. We have a Facebook group, so be sure and join that. We have a Twitter, the LMG podcast, and we also have a YouTube channel at the League of Melanated Gentlemen podcast, where episodes are uploaded. So you can either listen, on your regular streaming service, or you can use YouTube. Either way, feel free to subscribe, like, comment, all that stuff. We also would like it if you rate and review our podcast on whatever streaming platform that you use. And we also have some schedule updates. So this upcoming week, as you listen to this episode on a Monday, on a Wednesday, you have Wrestling with Worldwide Willis coming out, a weekly podcast where Brennan discusses all the latest trends and topics from the world of wrestling. And then on Friday of this week, we have DC Animation with Spenser and Friends, episode 7. That is sure to be a good one. Spenser, do you want to tell them what movie you will be reviewing so they can check the movie out before it comes out?
Indeed. We will be reviewing Justice League Crisis on Two Earths. It should be a good one. You'll have to wait and see who the and Friends is, but yeah.
And if you ever want to watch these movies that Spenser is talking about, I believe HBO Max has them all. Is that correct, Spenser?
All of them, yes. HBO Max for the win on that. I remember Brandon and I used to discuss the DC when DC had its own streaming app, and it was fucking garbage.
Awful.
It was a terrible streaming app, and so I am so glad that HBO was like, you know what, we're just gonna go ahead and take you. Now, that's not to say that HBO Max is perfect, because it's got its own issues. It is not I would say, as far as streaming apps go, Netflix and Hulu have it figured out. They are
absolutely
the top tier as far as the application and usability and all of that. So HBO Max is not at that level, but it is so much better than the DC Universe app, because that thing was trash.
They just loaded too much content. They had comic books. It was just too much content. That thing probably was loading. It was just trash, bro. You could barely click on something. You couldn't find a certain episode.
Couldn't hold it, huh? They couldn't keep up with it.
And subtitles just be wrong as hell.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, what are we doing?
You can tell they just slapped stuff on there and was like, titles. Yeah, they'll be all right. They'll figure it out.
Yeah. So glad that we're not doing that anymore. So yes, HBO Max.
So yeah, that is the schedule reminder, and that is where you can find your fellow gentlemen.
So, in today's episode, we will be giving you the official LMG ranking for MCU villains. You can check out our 3 episodes for the MCU movie ranking. We have already ranked all of the movies. When we ranked them, there were 30 movies. And so we had a part 1, part 2, part 3. Now, for this, we are ranking the villains in the movies. There were a couple of stipulations that we set. Firstly, we have 31 entries for this. Now, there are 32 MCU movies as of recording. We decided two things. One, we decided we were picking one villain per movie. There are some movies that have multiple villains, but we decided we as a group litigated and made an executive decision on which villain would be represented for each movie. Secondly, we said there are 32 movies, and in the next episode of Dragon Ball Z, you will find out why we have 31 villains. If you are familiar with all of the movies, you may already have an idea of why that is, but it may not be exactly what you think. So we're going to get there later. How we did this. We each gave a full ranking, top to bottom, and a number of points were assigned. The top villain got 30 points. The bottom villain got 0 points. I decided instead of averaging them, we just did a total. So I just added them all together. So that means that the highest number of points that a villain could receive is 90, and the lowest number of points a villain could receive is goose egg. So, without further ado, we will start at the bottom and work our way to the top. Coming in at number 31, we have Aldrich Killian from Iron Man 3. I gave Aldrich 0 points. Brandon gave Aldrich 1 point, and Jordan gave Aldrich 0 points. So he came in with 1 point.
Garbage.
Yeah, I think we've got to mention too, like none of us, well, Spenser has seen our list, but me or Brandon have not seen each other's list, and we also haven't seen Spenser's list. So I'm interested to see like how things line up.
Yeah.
Yes, it was interesting. So we're gonna, and as was the case with the MCU movies, there's gonna be some discussion. There's gonna be some anger. There's gonna be some, bro, what are you talking about? There's gonna be a lot of that. Now, I wanted to go ahead and get the bottom out of the way before we kind of discussed villains in general, because with a villain, there are a lot of things that one can look at. So, gentlemen, I want to know what you took into consideration when building your list, because we have, how evil the villain was. We have how much you agreed with the villain. We have what was the villain trying to do. We have what was motivating the villain. We have how successful was the villain. We even have how well did the actor portray the villain. There are a lot of different things that one can assess when determining how they feel about a villain. So I kind of want to know, with each of these, what led you to that placement. We won't discuss it for a super long time, but yeah. So with Aldrich, y'all know how I feel about Iron Man 3. It is
garbage.
It is at the bottom. Like, it is just it's the worst MCU movie still right now. And the villain had a lot to do with that, like a whole lot to do with that. Dude, trash. He is just another, I hate Tony Stark because he was kind of a dick to me once, or whatever. And we have a lot of those villains, and we will get into all of that. There is someone who did that the best, in my opinion. But yeah, I just I hated most of the things about this movie, and he was one of them.
I have a complicated relationship with Iron Man 3. Early on, I thought it was just the worst movie ever. I rewatched it. I was like, man, there's a lot of good stuff in here. Like the relationship with Tony and the kid. And you know what I mean? It's a lot of good stuff. But then they made the mistake we've talked about ad nauseum on this podcast. But then also another big issue is this villain. He's just trash. Like he's a very like early 2000s type of villain. You know what I mean? Very bland. We don't know why he has powers. We don't know what he's just, he's jealous of the guy who's making a lot of money His Iron, like it's just, I don't know. It was garbage. Again, I barely remembered his name when I saw him on the list. I mean, it's tough. Dude's not very good at all.
I feel like his motivation was kind of weak too. So like the way I kind of did my list was like how well I liked the villain and how successful he was or he or she was, within their movie and just a bunch of different things. But with Aldrich Killian, like his motivations was whack. Like he was only mad at Tony because Tony shot down his idea for work for him from AIM. Like he just ignored him really. And like for you to get mad about being ignored when you're basically you built something from the ground up, I'm sure many times in your life you had people tell you no. So the fact that you got mad at this one person, held a grudge onto him, and then basically transform yourself using the extremist was like whack. Like he was just a terrible villain, just bad,
just trash, just garbage.
Which is it's just interesting because because I guess I can't remember if he worked for AIM or he started AIM, but it's a shame we never got to see MODOK, mention more about AIM.
Yeah. And I thought that this was interesting because Jordan, you have defended Iron Man 3 and you still put this man at the bottom.
Oh, I'll put the movie. This man was trash. Like this man was garbage.
Okay. And that's I didn't think that he was going to be your last. Like I thought that he was going to get a point or two, but you had him at the same place I did, and that surprised me.
Which I mean, I like Guy Pearce too. Like Guy Pearce is an actor. Like I like him, but he just did not do good.
No, agreed. Okay. So for number 30, we have Ghost from Ant-Man and the Wasp. I gave Ghost 3 points. Brandon gave Ghost 0 points. And Jordan gave Ghost 1 point. So Ghost got 4 points.
Again, this is the first Marvel movie and only Marvel movie I've ever just fell asleep on. Ant-Man 2 is just not it for me. And she was one of the reasons why. I mean, it's unfortunate. You know what I mean? And I think the actor's going to be in like Thunderbolts, but like, I don't know.
I'm not looking forward to that.
That's the reason why people are like, really? You chose them? But it just felt like it wasn't a true villain. It felt like the whole time they were about to turn. It's like a bad heel. Like you just knew, okay, they're gonna turn eventually. They're gonna make him a good girl, like a good person, and all that. So it just the motivations weren't there. The weird tie-in with it was just weird. It's weird.
I mean, she just was not good in my opinion. Like I don't have much to even say about her. She wasn't good. Like her story was whack. Her whole phasing stuff was like, I don't know. I just did not enjoy her at all.
The power set wasn't great.
She's one of the ones that I just like don't have any real feelings about. Like she just exists. Like I didn't actively dislike her. And I think that's how she ended up with 3 points for me. And there are a few of these villains that I'm just like, I didn't have real feelings. You just kind of were there.
Right.
The fact that you gave her 3 points, I'm very shocked you got 3.
Oh, and then we'll talk about why here in a minute. But yeah, like she exists. I didn't as far as like the actress and the portrayal and all that, like very just like I don't have feelings. I don't think she did a terrible job, but I was not impressed by any means. And so, yeah, she just exists for me. And I do like that she didn't die at the end, so we can see if she, makes something happen. But
I feel like they gotta improve her in the Thunderbolts. Like they're gonna have to.
I feel like it's doable. Like the suit is kind of cool. I gotta remember, I haven't seen this in a while, but I feel like the powers were okay, like visually.
Well, technically, she didn't have powers, and like even if we see her in Thunderbolts, she shouldn't have those powers anymore. Because I watched this movie right before Ant-Man 3 came out, and the only reason she was able to phase in and out of it is because her molecules were still stuck over in the quantum realm or something like that.
That's true, yeah.
And they fixed it. So I'm like, what is she gonna do?
Maybe Hank Pym hooked her up with something. I don't know.
Yeah, so there may be some nonsense that like, oh, because it happened for so long, you just maintained the ability.
Yeah, you're able to control it now or something. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna see, but I'm sure it'll be some mess.
Yeah.
Whatever happens, yeah, like it sounds like it's gonna be some mess.
Yeah.
But coming in at 29, we have the main deviant from Eternals.
Oh god.
I gave 1 point. Brandon gave 2 points. Jordan gave 2 points. So the deviant ended up with 5 points. So barely beating Ghost.
Yeah, it was a very, I don't know, and like, you know, during that time, like MCU was starting to trend downwards
It was
a little bit,
it was a hard drop off. Like,
and people were
Phase 4
complaining
was,
about the whole like CGI thing. There's CGI fest in third act, and then you go and make your main villain, pretty much your main villain, just a CGI. Like he just looked like, I don't know, like from a different universe. I don't know.
because
He started off looking good though, but then the more he transformed, the
yeah,
worse
the more
he got.
human
Like,
he got, it got worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes, I'm saying it looked like it was from a bad movie, like a bad like 90s movie. I don't know.
But yeah, and we had to kind of discuss who we were going to call as the villain for this, because Icarus was also kind of on the board.
Right.
And we could have called Icarus, but I mean, we agreed that this acted as the main villain in the movie.
Right.
Yeah.
And we don't
he
we
had
don't
an actual
necessarily
name
call
too.
them. Yeah. And I just
Crow.
don't, yeah, I don't care enough to know it.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, there's not one fuck I have to give.
Bill Skarsgård played the character.
Well, he did.
Interesting.
Well, it seems like he would be a perfect person to play Marvel villain after he brought terrifying Pennywise. This makes, yeah, I think it was him.
Which, I mean, what did he do? Like, what?
He just voiced him.
And there wasn't a whole lot of that. So, like, they wasted money on Bill to have. Oh, that was a poor utilization, in my opinion. But all right, Disney got the money, so whatever.
Yeah, they wasted a lot of really good actors for villains.
Bill, go ahead and get that check.
Right.
I'm not mad at Bill at all for that. For number 28, we have Dormammu from Doctor Strange.
Wow.
So I gave Dormammu 2 points. Brandon gave Dormammu 3 points, and Jordan gave Dormammu 8 points. So Dormammu landed at 13 points.
Surprise. Well, at least because I know Jordan
too.
hates Doctor Strange.
Yeah, that was a couple more I hated more though.
And that's the thing.
That's how I got more points.
Jordan ranked Dormammu way higher than I thought.
That's what I'm saying. I thought he'd be like in the back.
Yeah, like I thought Dormammu was going to be one of the like single digit totals, but like Jordan, you giving him 8 points I was surprised.
And that's because I still believe in the potential that could happen. So that's how I got the ranking. Because there were some that were ahead of this, and I was like, "There's no redeeming for them." With Dormammu, we only got to see a little bit of him. So in my head, I'm saying like we can still see more of him. So I gave him a little bit higher rating than I normally would.
And this one was another one that we had to discuss because Caecilius does most of the work on the ground.
Right.
But honestly, Caecilius was
a puppet for...
Yeah, like he was, I mean, not even just that, but like he was boring. Like he was too boring to put on. Like he was too boring as a secondary villain to use in this, in my opinion. Or Dormammu had just enough going on to where it was like, okay, that's fine. Because this is not, there is a situation where there's more than one villain in the movie and we don't pick the biggest, baddest one. So, and we'll get to that shortly as well. But anyway, Dormammu, the what we got was pure disappointment, in my opinion.
Agreed.
And that's why I had to put Dormammu lower than Ghost, because I disliked what I got from Dormammu. Whereas with Ghost, I'm just But yeah, with Dormammu, like, I was not happy about it. Like, outside of the fact that it was not the comic accurate version that I wanted, the way that Dormammu was defeated and the way that Dormammu was presented, everything about it was a problem for me. Like, I cannot say there was anything about it that I liked or enjoyed.
I see the potential.
Yeah, it struggled because I remember reading a bunch of Doctor Strange comics leading into that movie. And then when I saw Dormammu, I was like, come on, this is the best we could do. Like, just some random like face. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, like, it wasn't quite as bad, but like, you remember when they made Galactus a cloud?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember it. No, that was way worse than this.
Yeah, like, it felt like
it.
This was this was the MCU's version of that, because the MCU is, I don't think they're going to do that.
Yeah,
but
I didn't either.
This felt like bullshit at that level to me.
I'm hoping maybe, with the different realms, and I'm hoping like maybe he was somewhere else. That was like his facial representation, and maybe, I don't know. I'm giving him a lot of leeway.
That's what I'm saying. I see the potential. Like, next Doctor Strange movie, they could do something to bring them back.
Whenever they're actually in the dark dimension, like whenever Clea shows up and she's like, "Hey, we gotta go." Like, whenever we see him in there, maybe we'll actually get something.
Yeah, I think so too.
We'll see. I certainly hope so. But
he went. That's crazy. He went a lot lower than what he thought he was. What I thought he was going.
No, potential didn't get him shit from me. For the next one, I believe we're on 27. Yeah, I hope so. If not, then the count's off. But whatever. We have Ego from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I gave Ego 4 points. Brandon gave Ego 6 points. Jordan gave Ego 5 points. So Ego came out with 15 points.
See, now I'm kind of mad. I feel like I should have ranked him a little higher.
Really? Okay.
Ego, I rewatched, obviously rewatching Guardians before I watched Guardians 3. I enjoyed Ego. And
I didn't hate him.
And he explained his reasoning, all these things we talked about as far as like taking into account. His reasoning kind of made sense, right? It wasn't great, obviously, but like, it made sense. He was pretty much executing his plan. It was just, I don't know, man. That I might kind of regret I have him now. Look.
I liked him when he was in his planet form. Like, that's what got it for me, was when he was in his planet form, and then the one scene where you can actually like see his face end up, going on the planet. Mm-hmm. But like, when he was like other places, just like talking to Peter, and then the fact that he was like, "I'm Peter, I'm your dad." Oh, and also Mantis is my daughter. I'm like, no, that just wasn't.
My thing is,
right there.
I don't know. I don't care about Ego enough in the comics. Like, this is a character that's like truly like in that box where you're like, all right, we can change some things here and no one's going to care. Yeah, I think that's what Ego is. I agree. Like, it did look cool when he was the planet. It was very like comic accurate, but it was cool to see Kurt Russell play, the interaction with him and Quill. Like, I don't know. It was, I liked it. I'm mad that I have him this low. I'm mad.
Well, and that could be a testament to how not terrible the rest of the MCU villains are, but we're gonna see.
Yeah. Also, that was that terrible scene with the Pac-Man, the Pac-Man thing. Like, I remember.
Oh yeah. They went up against each other. Yeah.
Yeah,
inside the planet.
That didn't help out. Yeah, that didn't help out either.
But yeah, Ego. I didn't hate Ego, and
I didn't either.
the fact that ego was that low for me and I didn't hate him means that it generally gets better. So, we're gonna see. At 26, we have Abomination from The Incredible Hulk.
Wow. That is crazy. Way lower than I thought.
So I gave Abomination 5 points. Brandon gave Abomination 4 points. Jordan gave Abomination 9 points. So Abomination came out to 18. So yes, Brandon and I combined for your number.
Yeah.
Right.
He looked terrible in the movie. Let me start by saying that.
Yeah,
I don't know
yikes.
who they thought that was. That was not Abomination.
Mm-hmm.
He looked terrible. But I really enjoyed the Incredible Hulk movie. And honestly, I mean, that Abomination, like the way he was portrayed, wasn't terrible to me. The way he looked was, though, I will say. And it was really nice to kind of see the real Abomination, once we got him in the I guess the MCU, the real MCU.
She-Hulk, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. The movie, again, the visual was trash. The movie was okay. I think it gets crapped on a little more than it needs to, but
I think
I
it's
agree. I like it.
I think it's shit
like
on
it.
appropriately.
I like it. I thought it was
liked
pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I like
me
the
too.
Hulk parts. They did a really good job with the Hulk parts. I can't speak for everything, but
Yeah.
like they hit on the Hulk parts.
The bridge scene where he's like on that bridge and he like turns into the Hulk, like in all that gas, like that was good.
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
But yeah, I just I'm surprised he's actually this far. But Tim Roth did a good job.
Yeah.
For
Okay.
me, like I said, for me it was the visuals that did not look like Abomination.
Like Turn of the Mummy. I don't know. That was awful.
Okay. For the next one, this may be a bit controversial. We're gonna see. For 25, we have Jan Rog from Captain Marvel. I gave Jan Rog 10 points. Brandon gave 5. Jordan gave 4. So Jan Rog came out to 19.
Yeah, Spencer, you gave him way too much.
Yeah, Spencer,
I'm
I
gonna
need you to explain to me.
Yeah.
So the reason that Jan Rog ended up as high as he did is because, as far as execution, I feel like Jan Rog actually was successful for a really long time. And he successfully manipulated Carol into basically being a shell of her true self. And it was only when she was able to, break through that and get her real powers that he was like, oh shit, this is what I've been trying to avoid this whole time. So he was pretty successfully able to keep her in check for a long time. And as far as, villains go, he was more successful than a lot of villains were. And I got to give that to him.
I can see what you're thinking here. I can see, because it was a slow turn. Like, it was very, like, he was concerned for Carol. Like, he was,
and that was
hey,
another thing.
we're coming to save you.
The manipulation tactics that he used, like, I was like, oh, you're a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like, I hope you die. And so, yeah, because they're usually, one of the things that I've said is a poor utilization of villains where they just kill them off. And he was one of the ones where I was like, no, if he dies, that's fine.
Yeah, he was.
And he didn't die, right? Didn't he go back?
No, he got taken by.
Yeah, he ended up
like
by
the High Council or something.
Yeah, like he ended up with Ronan, I thought. Or
I thought
maybe
she
Ronan,
let him go. I thought she
Ronan
let him
was
go.
somebody
Like,
else.
go tell them like I'm coming or something like that. Didn't no?
Yeah, I think he lived.
I
don't
want to
know
say he
if we'll see
lived
him again, but yeah, like I feel like he did live. But I feel like he had more going on than the people that I put below him.
I can see that.
And so that's like I liked the, not quite at this level, but like the Mother Gothling that he kind of did with her.
Yeah.
Like basically knowing that she is the one and being like, all right, hey, how about we we're gonna have to suppress that so that you don't threaten us. I'm not saying that I like that he did that, but I'm saying as a villain, like that's villainy.
Yeah, I do agree with you as far as like him being successful for years, because I mean he did set out to manipulate her, and he was able to do it for a long time.
And he
so
was
that
able
is
to,
a good point.
yeah, and like he had her on the team, and he was able to use her to get some
Mm-hmm.
things done in the name
Right.
of the Kree. And this is one of the ones that I was referring to earlier, where we did not go with the Supreme Intelligence, and we went with Jan-Rog instead because he was the one doing all of the work on the ground.
Right.
Yeah.
Because
I looked it up too. I was gonna say Jan-Rog was defeated by Veers, which was Captain Marvel, and then he sent back to Hala to give the Supreme Intelligence a warning. So yeah, she did send them back.
Yeah, and we
So
may
he
see
got to live.
We may see him in the Marvels. We don't see.
I hope not. Actually, that is a good point. We could see him in there. I could see him popping up.
I want to see more of the Kree. I hope to see the Kree.
I do too. Okay, so did y'all have anything on Jan-Rog before we move on?
No, I thought it was a really good portrayal of the character.
Yeah, I feel like Jude Law did a good job.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was all right. Wasn't my favorite. Wasn't my favorite.
And this, in my opinion, was a good villain turn. This was a good, like, it was him all along. Like that. Yeah. I think that was well done here.
And I thought Captain Marvel, low key, is kind of underrated in the fact that it did some
it is some heavy lifting as far as
some real
building.
Yeah, lead you one way, then throw it the other way. They did that a few different times in that movie. And they definitely
with the Skrulls too.
Yeah, with the Skrulls.
I enjoy Captain Marvel.
Because the Skrulls were supposed to be villains, but then it was like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, exactly.
Talos out here trying to just have a conversation. That's not what Skrulls do.
That's what I want to see.
Who she got her powers from?
Secret Invasion. I'm trying to see these real Skrulls. Like, what's going to happen?
Yeah, like the actual
2 different factions of Skrulls.
Marvel, who ended up being like this.
Yeah, I'm telling you, throwing on Captain Marvel is that's a good ass time. I mean, people try to
shit on that, but talking it through this time because we've talked it through before, but talking about it, starting at the villain and working out, like I'm like okay, got some good stuff going on there. At number 24, we have Malekith from Thor: The Dark World. I gave Malekith 6 points. Brandon gave Malekith 12 points.
Oh my God.
Yes. Drunk. And Jordan gave Malekith 3 points. Bro. So, and actually, just kidding, this is tied for 23 because there's another villain who got the same number of points next as well. But, Brandon, you were very generous with Malekith.
Yeah, I don't know what Brandon.
Malekith was, bro. Y'all, wow, I don't understand why people try to hate on Malekith. Every list I looked at, people were like, "Well, he was pointless." I'm like, Malekith was dope, and he looked amazing.
No,
he looked good.
He did look good. I'll give you that. Like he looked
amazing.
Good.
He like a vampire to me.
He murked.
I mean, the Dark Elves.
That's what they look like.
Yeah, like they don't. I mean, it's. If I was gonna say, if somebody showed me a dark elf and said, "What is this?" I might say vampire.
Like they looked amazing. He was part of murking Thor's mom. Like, dude pulled up on Asgard and was like, "Yo, give me my shit." Like, dude was killing. I don't understand why people try to shit on Thor: The Dark World. I get it, but like it had some good elements. It was not.
It did not. It did not. Was this the first movie? I feel like this was the first movie where I felt like killing the villain was pointless, especially for someone as big as Malekith. One of Thor's top 5 villains.
I did not like
going and just kill him.
I liked the ending, but I didn't like that he died. Yeah, I didn't like it. Was pointless. But when they had to phase that big ship in the earth, like that was dope. And then the stone part of it was cool. And then he created he had his like sidekick become that
Oh,
whatever that was whatever that was.
It's Curse. His name is
Yeah.
Curse.
Yeah,
bro, that was fire. Also, Loki. That's where Loki like started to turn a little bit.
it started to turn into the face.
Yeah, come on, man. Malekith.
I mean,
fire,
that's what happened in the movie, but like, Malekith as a villain, like he just again, I didn't hate him, but
he wanted to bring darkness to the world.
Like he didn't do it for me.
That was his goal.
No, the movie on top of just him just not being a good villain in my opinion. I did not like the way he looked. Like,
well, he looked amazing.
I think he looked good. So. He didn't look exactly like he does in the comic, because in the comic he has like a half face, like a hard half face, and in this he just kind of had like some scars. But I mean, I think that in general, like he did look really good. Like he could have existed in like Lord of the Rings or something, not as an elf, but like as a something else. But yeah, like I don't think he just looked
like a vampire. He just looked like a vampire from like a low budget sci-fi scary movie or something.
I think, what are you watching? Did you see? I'm looking at a picture of his suit. That suit is hella detailed.
And then all of his minions, they looked good.
They look good.
I think the minions look better than he did.
Okay. I mean, you're entitled to that. I don't. I'm somewhere in the middle. Like, I don't hate it, but like I don't have much to say about it.
He murked Thor's mom.
He did do that. That is true.
Like, what are we like? You got to get that man points.
A lot of these people got that done.
Here, a lot of people in here do not have bodies. He has a body,
dude. And every villain on this list has
a big body.
No, everybody on this list got a body.
Name Ghost's body.
The whole movie, that was her body. That shit was trash.
There's an ego putting cancer in people.
Yeah, look, a bunch of skeletons.
Murked a major character, his mom, Peter's mom.
Yeah, major character. Only Malekith murdered Thor's mother.
Yeah, Thor's mother. Who got minutes?
Yeah, who got plenty of minutes, and they had to come back to an Endgame to have that special moment for Thor and his mom, so he can get some clarity. Come on, man.
Like I said, this was the first movie where they completely wasted the villain.
I don't know if it was the first one, but
definitely.
What movie before Thor 2 did they waste the villain in?
You could technically say Red Skull.
Oh, we'll get there.
Yeah.
Red Skull was reused. I feel like Whiplash was just but we'll talk about Whiplash.
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there.
Tied with Malekith is Dreykov from Black Widow.
What? They're nowhere, bro. Come on, man.
I gave Dreykov 8 points. Brandon gave Dreykov 7 points. Jordan gave Dreykov 6 points. So that is how Dreykov also ended up at 21. Now,
accomplished his goal.
Yeah, like he was relatively successful, and to the point where, like, he wasn't even afraid when Black Widow showed up. He wasn't afraid because he was like, "You can't hurt me. Try. I want you to. Please, try to hurt me." And
that's the only reason I have him a little bit higher on my list is because he got the job done. He turned in so many girls into a widow.
And Brandon, I think
tell me.
You might be mad because he's the reason that we got the Taskmaster we did.
Yeah, that's my point. I don't even know if he's the main villain. Like, is Taskmaster the main villain, or is it him?
If Taskmaster was the villain, then these numbers would be a little different.
Yes, I'm saying, bro. Like,
big time,
man.
Yeah, he wasn't anything spectacular, but as a villain, he was relatively successful. He had his goals, which was pretty much capitalism and exploitation, and he was doing that. He was able to successfully I guess faked his death and was able to successfully go under the radar for years.
Above the radar, yeah.
So
I mean,
yeah, like, and the fact that he was smart enough to have the Red Room in the sky so that it was really, really hard to find. Like, that's, some pretty okay villainy.
man. My dude got his daughter blown up on some bullshit. Like, what are you doing?
He brought it back though.
He did bring her back,
Yeah, it's a robot. Okay.
and I'm
Still
not.
successful.
I mean, I'm not saying that I agree with the man, but I mean,
Yeah.
like
That's the only reason I have him on my list a little bit higher is because he accomplished what he set out to do.
Malekith.
and that's like Brandon Jordan put him lower than you did.
But I'm comparing him to Malekith. They're both tied for. So I'm like,
Yeah.
wait, hold on, what? Like, they're not on the same level.
Malekith got killed. Terrible idea. He didn't look good to me, and the movie was also bad. At least with Black Widow, the movie was bad, but the villain was an old white dude, looked accurate, and
Wow.
he set out to do what he set out to do.
All right.
Coming in at number 22, I believe, we have Whiplash from Iron Man 2. I gave Whiplash 7 points. Brandon gave Whiplash 8 points. Jordan gave Whiplash 14 points.
Nigga,
So Whiplash came out at 29 points.
I don't understand how people don't like Whiplash. Like that guy who portrayed Whiplash was great.
No.
Mickey?
What was wrong with him?
Bro, he said like 3 words the entire movie. It was just like he wasn't a real threat.
Oh,
It wasn't good accent work, in my opinion, but
yeah.
I mean, he definitely he took over all the Iron Man suits. Like, how is that not a threat? That is a major threat. He literally
took over all the Iron Man suits.
Yeah, he reprogrammed the ones that the military made. They made for the military. Like, remember, he reprogrammed all of those and took them over. That's how Rhodey and Iron Man. That's how they was fighting all those.
She took Hammer's, whatever dude's name.
Yeah, Justin Hammer. Yeah, like he took over all that stuff. And he had Iron Man shook. Like,
I mean, as far as the portrayal, it felt like Mickey Rourke was just sleeping through the movie.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I mean, yeah, he was relatively successful, and again, that's why I don't have him at the bottom. But
yeah,
I mean,
did he catch any bodies?
He almost killed Tony when he pulled up on Tony at the racetrack.
But then Tony pulled out that suitcase.
Yeah, he had pulled out some new shit. He's like, I can't deal with this. My old.
That was one of the best. Like, that was a really good Iron Man transformation.
Oh my god, that was
a moment.
That was like from the cartoon Iron Man transformation.
That was good. But yeah. I almost he's in that same like I nothing him.
Nah, bro, he's not better than he's not better than Malekith.
He's just
oh yeah, he's better than Malekith.
Bro, he was never really a threat like that. Like, whereas
he almost killed both Rhodey and Iron Man.
Almost.
As a not a threat. He literally took over all of the military suits, causing lots of damage. I'm pretty sure lots of those damage, could kill a lot of innocent people.
My dude Malekith pulled up on Thor and his family in Asgard, broke Loki out, and killed the man's mom. I don't understand. I do like Mickey Rourke, but no.
Okay. Coming in at
one last thing. I will say, instead of him dying, he chose to take himself out. He wasn't gonna let Iron Man take him out. He chose to kill himself. It's a noble thing to do sometimes.
Nigga soft.
Oh god. Okay. At 21, I believe, we have Obadiah Stane from Iron Man. Also Ironmonger, but I like calling him Obadiah Stane.
Obadiah.
He's pretty good. He sounds like a Civil War
General, yeah.
Like he sounds like a Confederate
General.
Like there's a statue of him in the great state of Mississippi.
Oh, he got a mustache with the curl into it.
Oh yeah. Anyway, Obadiah Stane, I gave him 9 points. Brandon gave him 10 points, and Jordan gave him 12 points. So he came out with 31.
Yeah,
Jordan and the Iron Man bias is crazy.
And now Obadiah,
he was a good first villain though.
Yeah, he's the OG.
I'll give him that. He's the best villain he had.
Jeff Bridges did a great job, and the whole line of he built this in a cave.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Scraps like that. Oh, that was great to me. I don't know why, but
that was also a turn I didn't see happening because at the time, the MCU wasn't a thing, and I had no expectations for this movie. And so when he turned, I was like, oh shit, like damn.
Yeah, it's like all right, and the way he had to be defeated, I thought was good. So yeah, I mean he came out represented, got his minutes, played his role. Yeah. So I can get behind that.
Yeah, I don't have much to say about him. Like you said, like he came out, did what he did what he's supposed to do, looked good. I was fine with it. The suit wasn't terrible.
Classic Iron Man villain. So I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah. Okay. So at 21? No.
20.
20,
yeah.
Thank you. At 20, we have Yellow Jacket from
what?
Ant-Man.
Oh, that's one of y'all. I know that's one of y'all who have to do that. It's probably Spenser too.
Thank you. I gave Yellow Jacket 11 points. Brandon gave Yellow Jacket 16 points.
It was you.
And Jordan gave Yellow Jacket 7 points.
Nigga.
It was you, Brandon. Oh,
did you watch Ant-Man?
And that is how Yellow Jacket ended with 34 points.
Did you watch the movie?
Yeah, I also watched the third one when him coming back as MODOK.
Yeah, they got to do with it.
So is that what you're holding against? Is that why he got a 7?
Right.
Come on, Darren, don't be a dick.
See, we're not talking about Ant-Man 3 right now. We're talking about Ant-Man 1.
Ant-Man 1. My man killed it.
So if not, are you saying that if not for Ant-Man 3, he would have ranked higher?
No, I wasn't really feeling. I love the suit. I just didn't really care about him as an enemy. But also, I didn't really know Ant-Man's villains like that. So,
well, the problem is Ant-Man, Yellow Jacket, and Goliath are all the same person in the comic book,
right?
So, like Darren Cross, I don't know if I assume Darren Cross is a real comic book character, but him being Yellow Jacket is totally MCU because again, Hank Pym was Yellow Jacket. Hank Pym was also Iron Man, and Hank Pym was also Goliath. So those being 3 different people, and none of them are Hank Pym in the MCU, is an interesting take on that. And for those of you who are MCU fans and not comic book fans, you may not have known that. So
just drop some gems on them.
But yeah, so I'm not able to speak to comic book origins of Darren Cross. But
he looks like, I just looked up, looks like he was Yellow Jacket at some point though.
Okay, and any mantle can belong to anybody. Like if we look at the number of people who have been certain mantles, it's absurd. But Brandon hates that. It's his least favorite thing.
Absolutely. But you're wild. Like dude played the character amazingly. You could tell what his goal was. He said what his goal was, and when it was affected, he then had to put it at work.
And him being like, I am a hater of this dude, I feel like was a better version of that than what was happening in the Iron Man movies.
Exactly. Yeah, it was way better executed. Corey,
I agree. That's why Killian is at the bottom.
Corey Stahl, I think, is the actor. He's really good. He was really good in House of Cards too.
Yeah, I like him in House of Cards.
Yeah, like, come on, man, dude, killed it. Not to mention the action scenes with him. It just made Yellow Jacket look like formidable.
And he was prepared to kill his daughter.
No, he was. My man was going to. He had no limits.
Yeah, like
he had no limits.
he was he was ready to go there.
Didn't he just murdered those people, turned them into some goo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gooing people.
I forgot about that.
I did too.
See? Come on, man. Like
I said, I thought he was pretty good.
He looked really good.
really
I'll say
good.
that.
Yep.
Come on, Jordan, man. You always throwing on with the rankings, bro. You're wild.
I'm just saying, don't be a dick, Darren. That's all I'm saying.
Bro, they ain't got nothing to do with this. But
Nothing
again,
to do with this.
One of the wild voters.
But that's why we do this, because I like seeing these disparities in the numbers. Sometimes it's me, sometimes it's Brandon, sometimes because both of y'all came after each other. You were like, it was you? No, nigga, it was you. Oh, that was so funny. 19. We have Ronan the Accuser.
What?
From Guardians of the Galaxy. So I gave Ronan 12 points. Brandon gave Ronan 15 points. Jordan gave Ronan 11 points. Ronan came out with 38 points.
He should be higher, man. Ronan the Accuser.
Ronan.
I
feel like that's a good spot for him. I feel like that's a good spot.
He's the best Guardians villain to me.
That's not true.
Are you smoking pot? Are you smoking crack?
I think I'll be honest. I think High Level Revolutionary is a little overrated. A little overrated.
Oh my!
We'll get to that.
We'll get there.
Because that is blasphemy.
The takes I'm hearing about him are
at the
crazy.
At the end of the day, the fact that we haven't talked about the High Evolutionary yet, you gave him more points than Ronan.
I know, right?
I did.
So for you to say that he is the best Guardians is literally not true.
I thought it's weird because I kind of suppressed my gut feeling. It's like, are y'all really saying this is the best? Like I heard some wild takes, but we'll talk about that.
Yeah,
we'll talk about that.
There.
But for Ronan was amazing. I thought he was a great first character for Guardians. Great like pathway to Thanos too. He had really good intent, like really clear intentions. Like Ronan is like the wild card for the Kree. He'd be wilding out.
I need the Power Stone. Give me the Power Stone.
Yeah, I'm going to murder these different planets. And he went about doing so. He got stopped, obviously, but he went about doing it.
Stopped by a dance.
No, was it a stupid ending? Yeah, but it's
the power of friendship.
The power of friendship. And
it's Guardians.
And like I hate to hold that against Ronan, but at the end of the day, like that has a lot to do with how he didn't end up higher on mine. I love Ronan the Accuser, the character. I
thought the portrayal was really good too.
I think
I agree.
Lee Pace did a good job. Yes. But I think the way that he was used could have been more effective, in my opinion. But
I he did a great job.
Yeah, I don't think it was terrible, but I just think there was room for it to be better.
Which is interesting. You guys didn't. Spencer, I know you didn't watch it. Brandon, did you see the trailer for the Marvels?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's interesting to see if we are going to get some form of this character back, because there's a character in that trailer. She had his hammer. So I'm curious to see if they just replaced Ronan with a new accuser. So,
and
right.
I was gonna say, is it one of those like, since this is a female movie, we got to have a female Ronan?
That is exactly what I thought too.
I haven't watched the trailer and I don't plan to, so we're gonna see if that happens. But okay,
they shouldn't have killed him off. Ronan is a really good character. He's a good character. You just like if you watch the animated series, like they throw Ronan in a bunch of different things.
I really liked him in Mightiest Avengers or Mightiest Heroes.
Yeah, exactly. Like he's really good, like first level cosmic villain, because there's a big villain on the backside.
They should have sent him back to Thanos, kind of like they did with Young Rog. Like they should have sent him back, like give Thanos his message.
And I feel like they should have did that more to then build up to where you go, who are they sending all these damn villains to? They got to pay the price, you know what I mean? Rather than just
I would
randomly just
love to
dying.
see Thanos like be pissed. Oh, dude, they should have let Thanos kill Ronan.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, that
They
tells
should
you
have
how
let him do
powerful
it.
he is. Exactly.
Like, did at the end of this movie, did Thanos have any stones?
No.
In
I don't think so.
Guardians?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
in
he probably
Guardians he didn't, because the first two that he got were power and space.
Yeah.
So power was in the Guardians, so he obviously didn't have it, and space was with the
Okay.
That's right. So yeah, like
Either way, they
not yet.
should have showed like Thanos like doing something Omega Beams style, like show him like just straight murking Ronan. That would have been amazing just to see him one shot Ronan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for all we know, that's why there's a new accuser. Like we don't know Ronan's fate necessarily, because as far as I remember, we've seen Ronan in this, and then we saw him in Captain Marvel, but that was the past. So,
well, didn't he die in Guardians due to the?
Oh yeah, he died due to the power of friendship.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I'm like,
I bet.
So that's why I'm like, they shouldn't have killed him off. Either have Thanos kill him or keep him around.
Yeah, that would have been like just imagine that end credit scene. You just see Ronan like, I'm sorry, I failed. And then Thanos is like, you failed me one too many times. Boom.
Yeah. Big boss style.
Yeah.
Because what? Because how they did the Eternals with like the Celestial like coming to get him, like like it should have been just Thanos arriving.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then Ronan falls to his knees, and then cut to black.
Exactly.
Anyway, speaking of female villains, we have a tie. The next villain on the docket, I believe
this is number 19 or 18.
Tied for 17, I think. Because I think Yellow Jacket was 20, Ronan was 19. So
okay.
Tied for 17. We have Wanda, or Scarlet Witch, in Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness. I gave Scarlet Witch 14. Brandon gave Scarlet Witch 11. Jordan gave Scarlet Witch 15. So Scarlet Witch ended with 40.
Yeah, I mean, she did a fantastic job. I think it was the portrayal of her darkness was great.
Yeah, you scary. And
yeah,
I think that I mean, whenever they were showing promotional material for this movie, we were led to believe that he was going to Wanda for help and that they were going to go against some villain. Right. And then when we got to the movie and he went to her and she was picking apples and shit.
Yeah.
And then he eventually like deduced that everything is not okay. And then she was like, all right, fine. And then she like showed what was really happening. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah. That
was really good. Yeah.
Like, she's a problem.
Yeah.
And then whenever she showed up, and she was like, "Give me the girl, and everything's gonna be okay."
Like in the most creepy way possible.
Yeah, and they were like, "Wanda, be reasonable." She was like, "Oh, honey, this is me being reasonable."
Yeah, bro. She went against the entire Carmitage, like
the entire magical community.
Yeah, like
and. Claimed some bodies, like a lot of bodies that day.
She did. Yeah, I'll give her that.
She definitely sent a couple of them to the other realm.
She racked up a count, and whenever
we didn't even talk about the Illuminati,
we're gonna get there because we're not there in the movie yet.
Yeah, all right.
I just know whenever she came out that fucking gong, I was like, "Oh no,
man.
Oh no,
yeah.
no."
Yeah,
I didn't like any of that.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not a horror movie guy, so that definitely gave me like, whoa, what are we doing here?
Whenever that happens, I'm like, ooh, I don't like it.
Yeah.
But yeah. So as far as motivations,
I knock her on that.
Not great.
Yeah, I give her, that's where I knocked her.
But who are we as men to knock this woman on her feelings? Who are we?
I don't.
I'm very qualified to do so.
Yeah, like I don't like how it was handled. because, and this was a point that I heard made like later. Usually, whenever fathers go hard for their kids, it's viewed in a positive way and it's handled in a positive way. But when mothers go hard for their kids, it's not.
Yeah.
And this is that. Like, this is, I think this was, it was supposed to be something that it didn't end up being.
Right.
I think that it was not well executed in that regard.
Especially for some fake kids.
Yeah,
I'm like,
kids
what
that
are we
weren't
doing?
real. And of course, the whole like she was corrupted by the Darkhold or whatever.
Yeah, man, we got the Darkhold. It's responsible for a lot
But
of
she
stuff.
had fake kids before the Darkhold came around.
Yeah, but I mean this and the whole thing is I also heard later that like the person who wrote this Wanda never watched WandaVision.
That's right. Yeah.
So that's
that
why
just came out. Yeah.
they were so drastically different. And I'm like, first of all, is that true? Because like, how did you like that's your fucking job? Like, what are you doing?
Heard when reading about it, I guess they weren't allowed to because it wasn't finished yet, technically. When they started writing the original, for the movie, the other series wasn't done yet due to COVID and all that stuff. And so, yeah, they were like, all right, you can't, you're not going to be able to watch this. You're just going to have to deduce that this is where it ends and this is where it starts, go from there. And I'm sure they didn't know,
That's weird.
That's like telling, when the first Avengers came out, I was like, yeah, how about you guys don't watch Iron Man and let's just go ahead and make this Avengers movie. Like,
because
it would make no sense.
It just seems to me like the person who's going to continue a story should know the past.
Oh, I absolutely agree.
Like that's just, I think that's just how like movie making should happen. But whatever. They didn't ask
Especially
me what
when
I thought.
Right. Especially when you have them turning into a villain. Like a legitimate villain.
A hard heel turn.
Yeah, exactly. Like we need to know the why.
Like Wanda was catching bodies. And the fact that she was perfectly willing to uproot an alternate version of herself, like the way that they should, the alternate version of her just trapped in the white space.
Yeah.
That
was wild. That's telling you, man.
And then again, what she did to the Illuminati.
Oh yeah, that was savage. Yeah, Black Bolt, savage.
Yeah,
I would say the only knock I have against Wanda as well, which is not her fault, is more of just Disney's fault. It's like it's not fair that if you didn't see WandaVision, you have no idea why Wanda is kind of acting this way. Like they try to explain a little bit of the movie, but like I said, it's not against her; it's just against the way they did it.
No, that's the machine. Like, and that's I mean, that's what you do. Like, if I want people to watch all of my content, then like the Disney said, yeah, we're gonna punish you if you haven't watched everything. That's the whole reason we're like, we're gonna get your money.
Yeah. And it's been a while since we talked about it, but do you guys think Wanda is dead?
No. I think I saw a video on Instagram, dangerous to use as a confirmation source, but they slowed it down and it looked as if she like zoomed out of there.
All I know is what I've learned from this movie specifically is that crushing somebody kills anybody. Like if you get crushed, it's over. That's what I learned.
Except for Obito. Obito live, remember?
Yeah. Because
Brandon, I have no idea what we're talking about right now.
No. I was about to be like, wait, what?
Yeah, no. Don't worry about that, Brandon.
Bobito?
don't worry about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah, I learned that getting crushed, that's how you finish somebody. That's what this movie taught me. So
yeah. I don't think she's dead. I don't think she is. I think she's resting a little bit.
Just a little sleepy.
She put herself in like a realm by herself.
Probably like put herself into like a cocoon or something. She's about to be the next Phoenix. She put herself in the Phoenix Force.
Jesus. Okay. I mean, and that who knows what they're gonna do. But
no, if they did that, I would be pissed. But yeah.
You would be pissed.
You would write a
they-
letter.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm writing a letter.
Oh, he's writing a
Pissed
letter.
if anybody got the Phoenix Force.
Yeah.
Oh, that would yeah.
No,
thank
Echo's
you,
gonna
but-
get it.
Don't
God.
even say that, Brandon. Don't even say that.
Echo's gonna get the Phoenix Force. That's a comic
Don't even say
accurate.
that.
That
I
is
was
comic
so pissed
accurate,
when that
sir.
happened in the comics. Oh, I was so pissed.
Yeah, that is
that was
comic
stupid.
accurate. So I don't know why you're complaining. That is a solid interpretation.
Nah, I would drop if that happened on like episode 1 in Echo. I would never watch the show again. I would be pissed.
Oh, well, we would tell you all about it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll be pissed.
Oh, that'd be terrible. Also tied with the Scarlet Witch at 17, Gore the God Butcher from Thor: Love and Thunder.
Wow.
I gave Gore 17. Brandon gave Gore 13. And Jordan gave Gore 10, which is how Gore ended up with 40 points.
Lean
Now-
more
God
towards
Butcher.
Jordan on this one.
Yeah, that's according. I see that with the number.
Yeah.
Now, I believe that this was a pretty standard misutilization of villains as far as Marvel goes. Like this was
Big facts.
like this is pretty standard. Like Marvel does this. They will pull a villain who's like really compelling, really good. We will get a pretty good portrayal of that villain, and then that villain dies in some relatively stupid way. And then they are just never to be heard from again, and they are simply used as like a movie device. So we see that here, but whenever I look at Gore the God Butcher, firstly, he's not. I don't hate how we got here, because he definitely was like, hey, all of my people are dead. My daughter's I'm watching my daughter die. And then he gets bullied by this god who's kind of a dick, and in self-defense kills him, because Gore was about to die. Like that god was about to Gore was nothing to him. So he was about to get, squashed like a bug or whatever gods say. And so in self-defense, Gore kills him. And Gore was like, see, I have watched this kind of shit happen, and I'm tired of it. So if this is what gods are, I'm just going to have to deal with all of them. Now, a problem with the movie is that we don't see Gore going to work. That is my biggest gripe with this movie, is that I just needed 15 minutes of seeing Gore going and butchering.
And but I gotta hold that against the villain, though. It's unfortunate.
No, but clearly he was doing work, because Lady Sif,
we saw the bodies.
Yeah, like Lady Sif was about to die, and Thor was like, Guardians, love y'all, I gotta go handle something. So like Gore has been, like, the fact that they've been getting reports of it, and the fact that Zeus was shooketh to the point where Zeus was like, hell no, I'm not going out there. You see what he's doing? No, I'm gonna stay right here where I'm safe. So Gore was obviously doing some work. And again, I don't hold against him the fact that we didn't see that, because that's the movie's fault. But we know that Gore was doing work. And when Gore was on screen, it was a good movie when Gore was on screen.
I mean, sure, but he did also get defeated by some kids who got the power of moon.
No,
yeah,
he was defeated by the power of love, because if you remember, Gore made it to eternity, and Gore could have called for his wish, but Thor gave him a speech, and that's why he didn't. But Gore absolutely made it. He was not.
He was delayed.
No, he wasn't delayed. But he wasn't defeated by those children, because if Gore had been a terrible fucking guy, he could have been like, yeah, Thor, shut the fuck up. All of them. Now. Thank you, eternity. I appreciate it. Now I will rest. So no, Gore had the opportunity. Gore made it. Like, as far as his mission and his objective, he at the end made a conscious decision not to do it, but he absolutely could have done it.
Yeah, I agree with Spenser. Love defeated him with this one.
Yeah,
which is actually stupid because Love was the name of the character, right?
yes.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like so stupid. That was a dumbass ending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
But I
at the end
mean,
of the
he
day,
was very effective though. Yeah.
yeah, like he got a lot of shit done. He was terrifying. And he essentially chose his daughter over his vengeance.
Right.
And so I fuck with Gore.
I mean, if you know, I love Gore, and my main disappointment was through comic books, reading that entire run, and then seeing
how it was mismanaged,
seeing like the quality of actor we're getting. Oh my god, like this is about to be Thanos level, and then it was just like, okay, we really didn't get to see him kill any many gods.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's my knock against him,
and that's why again he's not higher on my list, but he was good to me. Like
he was good.
Like he was
good.
He was one of the better parts of that movie, in my opinion.
Right.
I mean, we have a super serious villain in a comedy. That's a pretty standard Marvel formula now as well. And I mean, I think this is one of the better versions of it because his version of super serious, again, was terrifying.
Oh yeah, remember the black and white scenes? Like
when they were in the Shadow Realm?
Eyes glowing. Yeah.
Yeah. The whole call the axe.
That was dope.
Like he was on a mission. He's call the axe. Yeah, but call the axe. Like he was focused on his singular objective. And again, at the end of the day, he did get there.
Yeah. My only other knock against him is the way he looked. And that's only because I think he looked better in the comics than he did in the MCU version of it.
I didn't
that's a small knock. That's a nitpick.
I didn't. Yeah, I mean, he definitely looked. He looked like a Star Wars character in the comic books, but
I think he just looked like Christian Bale bald.
And no, that's what I'm saying. I didn't mind it. I didn't mind the version we got in the movie because he looked scarred. He looked like he'd been through some stuff. I will say the Necro Sword. I had a little bit of issue that because we didn't address some things that the Necro Sword does. That I needed, and it was kind of a throwaway piece. And it's like the Necro Sword could have been a foundational thing to where you build off of, but they didn't even really explain it.
Yeah, we talked about it in our review.
And I think that, I mean, again, like I enjoyed this movie, but I can't call it a good movie. But I did enjoy it. And I think that as far as comic accuracy, as far as lore, and as far as management of characters and artifacts, there were some problems, and I have notes. So I will agree. I think that Gore was mismanaged along with the Necro Sword. The Necro Sword is also grossly mismanaged in this movie. Because I think that they've put too much focus and attention on it being a romantic comedy.
Exactly. Yeah, they should have had
a superhero movie.
They should have had a different director for this, and I think it would have been I think it'd have been like low key top 5 because the story alone is great. The comic book run is great. You got a great villain. You got Thor. Everybody loves Thor. You got Valkyrie. You got all these things. Lady Thor in it. Great.
Yeah.
But like, if you had a serious director, oh my god, like
let it be the Russo brothers,
and somebody,
like somebody else would have. And that's one of the issues that I have is, on one hand, I want directors to be free to do what they want because studio interference has been the cause for so many movies going badly.
Right.
This is a situation where studio interference would have probably helped.
Yeah, Kevin Feige should have been like, whoa, what we're wasting.
At a minimum, he should have said there are some things missing from this.
Yeah, I have some note. Like, we're wasting this villain on a jokey joke movie. Like, I don't know, not a good idea.
But again, to me, Gore was a lot better and a lot more effective, and a lot like the portrayal of him was better and cleaner than half of the MCU villains.
I agree.
That's why he's in the middle of the road.
Yeah. I think more people are more annoyed because they saw the end of the road. They saw so much potential, and the performance was good. They're like, what the fuck,
Yeah,
So,
and that's the thing. I think that this is another example of the falter with the movie more than anything else. And like the movie mishandled him, and that's why his score isn't better, because he was in a bad, not necessarily a bad movie, depending on who you ask, a bad movie, but yeah, like his level of villain was much higher than the level at which the movie was.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And so for number 16, we have Mysterio from Spider-Man Far From Home.
My God.
Now, I gave Mysterio 16 points. Brandon gave Mysterio 9 points. Jordan gave Mysterio 16 points. And so just barely scraping above the last two, Mysterio came out with 41.
This is wow.
I would say with this one, like, as much as I knew Mysterio was going to be the bad guy, he definitely had me going thinking,
he tricked you a little bit.
Did Marvel? Yeah, I was like, is Marvel really going to change Mysterio like this? Like, he had me going with that performance alone. Jake Gyllenhaal, like, I was impressed.
Now, I think that this was the best version of I'm a hater, Tony Stark ruined my life. Like, this is the best version of somebody being mad at Tony and taking it out on him in some kind of way. Because again, we see that with several villains, but this is the best version of that to me. Now, again, if we didn't know comic books, yeah, we would have been duped.
Yeah, big time. He looked amazing too. Like,
yeah,
Mysterio looked amazing.
He looked really good. Mysterio was one of those characters. I was like, there's no way he looks good in real life. Like, based on CGI and what we've seen from other, like, there's no way this is successful or comic book accurate. Like, they're gonna have to sacrifice one or the other. He looked really good in this movie.
Yeah, and the way they did his effects, like, this guy was just a visual effects dude. They did a fantastic job with that. Like, that is great right there.
And the fact that he was successfully able to dupe and manipulate this teenager into giving him access to one of the most powerful drone AI on Earth in this Earth. The manipulation and the mind games that he played and how well he was able to do that, and all of that was impressive.
And the way he went out too at the end, bro, he revealed to the world who Spider-Man was.
Yeah, before I die, he created ridiculous ramifications for the MCU at large. And he's the reason that we got Green Goblin back. Like, he's the reason that we got to see Andrew Garfield save somebody. Like, he led us to a lot of things. And so I don't think he's the best villain, but he was effective. Like, there's no question about whether or not he was effective. The portrayal, I think, was really good, and he looked great. Like, and I think a part of that is the fact that my expectations were low. Like, I expected him, again, he was either going to look like trash or he was not going to be comic accurate.
Same. I feel the exact same way.
But they did that, and I was impressed.
But clearly Brandon was not impressed because he gave it a little lower. Brandon,
I think Brandon's going to say he was bored.
I think this is the worst.
I'm not the biggest Spider-Man guy.
This is the worst Spider-Man movie by far.
And that's not saying much because the other two are really good.
I mean, true, but I'm saying
now. Oh wait, are you the worst Spider-Man period or the worst Spider-Man in this trilogy?
In the MCU is the worst one by far.
Okay, and that's the thing. As far as trilogies go, like, this movie is still better than a lot of pieces of trilogies.
Is it though? I don't know. I don't know. Other movies that actually have a trilogy, I don't know.
It's better than the Thor trilogies.
I mean, if we're taking the trilogies that exist, that gives us Iron Man, Captain America, Spider-Man, Guardians of the Galaxy. Thor has 4, but we'll call Thor. And Avengers is obviously
I think
at the
it's
top.
better than the Iron Man series. I think it's better
I
than
think
the Thor series.
It is top 3, period. Because assuming we're not taking Avengers into account, Captain America is obviously at the 1 spot.
Right.
Guardians and Spider-Man are 2 and 3. And where they are depend on how you feel, because you're not going to tell me that the Ant-Man set is better. You're not going to tell me that the Thor set is better. You're not going to tell me that the Iron Man set is better.
No. I mean, I'm not saying those are better. I'm comparing strictly Far From Home. I'm comparing strictly Far From Home compared to others. Now, you might be able to say
other
movies and trilogies.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Let's take each trilogy's worst movie. Now, I already know how you feel about Captain America.
We know what that is.
But in all reality, let's be for real, Captain America 1 was the worst.
Oh no, it's the worst of the 3.
Okay.
I will give you that.
So, Captain America better than Far From Home for you?
Absolutely.
Okay. Is Far From Home better than Guardians 2?
No.
Okay.
What? No, it's not.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, Brandon. Go ahead, Brandon.
Surprised but how I feel about Guardians may be holding weight there. Is Far From Home better than Iron Man 3?
I'll give it that.
You took way too much time to think about that. Goddamn.
Yeah. I'll give it that. I rewatched Iron Man 3 and I really enjoyed myself until the stupid parts. But otherwise, I had a good time.
Okay. Is Far From Home better than, I assume your least favorite is Thor 1?
No, Love and Thunder by far.
Okay. Is it better than Love and Thunder?
I will say it's better. I ain't gonna disrespect it like that. I think it's better.
Is it better than Ant-Man 2?
No, I'm just saying.
Yeah. I was gonna say Brandon.
I was about to say, bro.
I'll give it that.
Let's say you're a liar.
Okay. Yeah,
we didn't.
I'll give it that. I would just feel like Mysterio. I don't know. It didn't do much for me. The movie wasn't that great to me, and
I think that's your issue here. Well, is that you didn't like this movie?
Well, but I think the Vulture is a better villain to me. I think
we ain't got there. We ain't got there yet, though.
We ain't got there yet, sure. But I'm saying
you're absolutely right. He is the worst villain in Spider-Man's set, but that doesn't make him a bad villain. Is the point I'm trying to make?
But I don't think he is better than some of the villains we've mentioned. And I don't know. I don't know. I don't think he's that good to me. Because I expected the visuals to be good. I mean.
Okay, so
I didn't know how they were going. I had no idea how they were going to pull off Mysterio's powers. Honestly,
I didn't think it would be like due to technology, but yeah.
Let's do this. Let's have this discussion because both of you are on very opposite sides of this. Let's take Mysterio and Malekith because, yes, that is.
Sorry.
Thank you, Jordan.
Sorry.
You ranked Malekith very low. I did as well. Brandon did not. Whereas with Mysterio, we ranked him higher. Brandon did not. So as far as Brandon's ranking goes, Malekith was a better villain than Mysterio.
That is
by a couple
blasphemous. That is insane.
He is like, the whole, and let's be honest. Mysterio's a copycat. Like the way they made him, he's just a third guy who wanted to be Tony Stark.
Yeah, like fourth or fifth even.
Yeah,
he is just another I hate Tony because Tony's better than me.
Yeah, another white guy who's jealous of Tony.
Yeah, but he's the best version of it. And
but I need some originality. That's all.
So, okay. And you not liking him for that reason makes sense to me. For saying that he's just a copycat. Like I can respect the disdain toward him based on that.
And then it was the whole. It's not even like, because I remember my only reference point for Mysterio was the Spider-Man animated series, and it was very like Mysterio was there, but it wasn't based off technology.
Yeah.
Whereas in this case,
he had actual powers though.
Right.
He
and that's
even tricked. Bro, you can't say he wasn't a good villain. He even tricked Nick Fury. You know how hard it is to do that?
I mean, okay. Nick getting a little old, man. He's a little washed.
Nah. Oh my goodness.
Because yeah, like Hydra couldn't even do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the good thing is, like, one of the things that I thought was also interesting was that Mysterio had a whole team behind him. And I like that. Team. I like that part of it too, because that felt more realistic in the fact that he wasn't doing it all by himself. And because we know that one of the quickest ways that employees bond is through hatred of people higher up. That is a thing that happens across companies, across the planet. Is your truest friends are the ones who hate people up higher with you. Like, you don't build stronger bonds than being a miserable coworker with somebody. And so, I mean, he had a squad of people that were like,
team full of nerds who was able to pull it off.
Like, no, I'm good. If my villain needs the Geek Squad to get something done, I'm straight. Like,
I would definitely have the Geek Squad with him. He definitely had Geek Squad.
But that's the thing. He was very, very effective. And he's one of the few villains that in his death caused so much to happen. There are not very many villains we can speak on that were either as successful as they were or that were as effective as they were even after dying.
So what do y'all think was a better moment? Malekith killing Freya or Mysterio revealing to the world who Spider-Man is?
I think it's killing them all. You know what I mean?
I think it's
no one expected it.
I think it's revealing to the world that he's Spider-Man. Because again, that kicks off that, because the fact that he said, "What the credits?"
Yeah,
and then we had to wait to see what happens behind that, and then we got a movie better than that one, because it's the first one, so it led to something bigger and better, like it was supposed to.
I don't know. I don't want my villains going to Best Buy to hit up the Geek Squad to see if they stuff is tight.
You got to recharge those batteries for sure.
Yeah, and then I just manipulating a child to get your goals done. I don't know.
Don't talk about a child like he 10 years, 12 years old.
He's a child. He's a kid.
Like 17, 18.
Yeah, but that's the thing. That is villainous. Like, that's...
And he did Nick Fury. You forgetting about that.
Yeah, like, he manipulated everyone. Like, he had everybody believing he was a good guy.
Everybody? The top guys are already gone. The top dog.
Nick Fury is the top guy.
No, Cap's the top guy.
Brandon, whatever fentanyl you're taking, I think you need to go and
if Cap and Iron Man were still around, they'd have been like, "Y'all really falling for this shit? Like, what are we doing? Let's wrap this up."
No,
like, what are we doing?
No, that is no. I think he would be able to pull it off.
No, they would have smelled that mile away. They were like, I don't trust him. Cap would have been like, I don't trust him, and Tony would be like, yeah, I'm seeing we got some drones coming around. I'm thinking they're having something to do with this.
No, Cap would have been like, is he black underneath there? We might need to check him out a little bit more. We might be stealing some stuff.
Yeah, okay. Making fake news once again.
Well, listeners, please let us know how you feel about Mysterio, and if you agree with Brandon that he just wasn't great. Again, I'm having a hard time just like going with your argument about it, but you too are entitled to your opinion.
Unfortunately.
So there are a lot of things you can let us know. So we're going to do a recap just so you know where everyone landed and who we have talked about so far. And then, on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z, we'll keep it going. So in the bottom spot, we have Aldrich Killian. In 30, we have Ghost.
Trash.
29, we have the main deviant from Eternals.
Trash.
In 28, we have Dormammu.
Who's that?
In 27, we have Ego, the living planet.
Got screws. You got screws.
In 26, we have Abomination.
Yeah, trash.
In 25, we have Yanrog.
Yeah, better.
Tied at 23, we have Dracov and Malekith.
Malekith.
At 22, we have Whiplash.
Yeah, what a waste.
At 21, we have Obadiah Stane.
Obadiah.
At 20, we have Yellow Jacket.
Yeah, got screwed as well.
At 19, we have Ronan the Accuser.
Also got screwed.
Tied for 17, we have Scarlet Witch and Gore the God Butcher.
Okay.
And coming in at 16, we have Mysterio.
Wow.
I wonder if we should have added in the TV show villains.
No. We can later. They can get their own episode, but we're doing MCU films for this one.
Oh boy, John Walker would have been top 10, top 5.
Nigga, if you don't sit your ass down somewhere.
We would have called Carly. We wouldn't have called John Walker for that.
John Walker gotta be the man.
I feel like John Walker might have to be in there.
Carly was the villain for the show. Like,
I don't know.
Like the villain in the show was Carly, and then okay. I mean, John Walker killed the guy, but John Walker wasn't really actively against the interest of Captain Falcon, whereas Carly, she was the one they were trying to go after.
That one might be a little bit debatable. I'm curious. We might talk about that one.
And also, who would we call in Loki? Because the one who remains wasn't really a villain. He was super neutral.
Timekeepers.
So the TVA?
Yeah. No, I don't think
Miss
Loki
Minute,
really had
whatever it is.
Miss Minute. Yeah, I don't know if Loki really had a villain though.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like Sylvie, maybe, but also not really. So yeah, it'd be hard to call one for Loki. I mean, for WandaVision,
that might be the only one though.
Yeah, WandaVision, that's easy.
It was Agatha all along.
Yeah, for Moon Knight, that's easy.
Garbage.
For Miss Marvel, do we call Kamran's mother?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's definitely a villain. Unfortunately.
Okay. And yeah, she died before the shit ended.
Hawkeye would be Fisk.
Of course.
Yeah. But it sucks because he didn't really get to do much.
I know.
Yeah. If we were including Daredevil, Iron Fist.
Yeah. Oh, dude. If we included Fist from Daredevil TV show,
boy,
he gonna be up there.
Oh yeah,
he gonna be up there.
He was a problem.
Facts.
Yeah, and then that would also include Jigsaw from The Punisher.
He was also good.
I guess because in Luke Cage, Cottonmouth was only kind of there, but there was a main villain at the end.
And then,
and then Bushmaster.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, no, we will just do movies for now. And then if you all want us to talk about the show villains, then let us know. And you know where you can let us know.
That's right.
Segues.
So you can let us know on the Facebook, you can let us know on the YouTube, or you can let us know on the Twitter. And we'd love to hear what you have to say and what you want to hear from us. Do you agree with the list so far? Do you think there's anyone who was misranked? Do you think there's anyone who should be higher? Or do you think there's anyone that was too high? You can also let us know that on the Facebook and the Twitter as well.
All these questions and more will be answered next time on Dragon Ball Z. Oh. All right, fellas. Well, if there isn't anything else, we're never duplicated.
Always appreciate it.
And forever melanated.